Minutes later. All right, sorry guys. I actually went back there and had a good little massage and ended up falling asleep doing it all, but it's okay. We're here to do and talk about what we had to talk about prior to leaving to do anything. So let's get into it. The tips and tricks that you can use to quit your 9-to-5 job, okay? So there are a few things that are a building process before you can do anything. And the first thing that you need to know about before you do any business whatsoever with anybody or start doing your own thing independently or working with another group or whatever it may be, it's the biggest thing that most people probably need to have in order to make sure that they're doing appropriate actions within their business is making sure they have all forms of payment, okay? So it's obvious that you as a person, tech, whoever you may be or whatever you may doing, you obviously would love to accept cash, right? Because most times people do carry and may have cash if that is a thing that they love to do on them. But you're not going to see someone that's going to try to pay for something that they need to pay for with cash. Sometimes they have other options that come along the way because you don't carry all your cash on you at one time. I wouldn't expect someone to have $2,000 to $30,000 on them to pay for something that they want to pay for. So if you go into Best Buy or you go into Walmart or you go into Target, most people have a debit form of payment. With that debit form of payment, they use either a Apple Pay or a Square Cash Pay, some type of way to accept the payment to go in between their debit card and also the bank. So as that translates over for you, you need to have all forms of payment as well. Now, when you're going out on whatever venture you may be doing, I'm going to talk about a few going down the way, but whatever venture you're doing, you're going to have Square Cash the same way that other people will use on their bigger businesses that they have. You would also have Cash App, which I would expect most people to have, but you have to remember that there are generational people that have never heard, never played with, never seen anything like Cash App. So when you say things to them about, hey, do you have this option of payment called Cash App? They may look at you in a state of confusion because, hey, I really don't know what that is. I can give you cash, not on the app. And that's not how that's supposed to go. But essentially, you want to make sure that that person is up to speed enough so that you can Cash App them because that may be a faster form of payment. So 2 things, Square Cash, Cash App. Both of those 2 are definitely 2 forms of payment that you want to have whenever you're going out to do whatever venture. I usually use it when I'm doing for tips and also paying for other things along the way. And if I'm just trying to be nice to somebody, Cash App is very convenient for just making your ends meet on trying to have someone that pays you directly that you don't have to worry about. Now, the downside about Cash App, and it's not a downside, it's honestly contingent on whether or not you can appropriate the business with what they do. Cash App is going to give you a 3 to 5 day wait, I believe, on your money, depending on when it falls. So if you have your money and it comes within on a Monday, you should be able to get it by Wednesday. Somewhere along that deadline that you'll be able to get your finances within. Now, it does give you the option of fast tracking your money. So you can use the Get It Now option. The Get It Now option allows you to take the cash that you have and just immediately put it in your bank account. Now, that does come with a fee. The fee, I don't know if it's 1% or 2% or whatever the earnings is, but essentially it takes a little bit away from what you earned or got traded or purchased, whatever the case. But if you needed the cash immediately, like right now, instantaneously, that is an option that is also ready available for you. Now, going further along the line, Cash App, Square Cash, those 2 options of payment usually correlate to a high train over rate for people that just say, hey, I do have one of those 2 options to make payment with. So I have an Apple Pay or I have a Cash App. And they do use those 2 things just to try to make sure that they're able to get the sale and also collect the cash that they're trying to get from whatever they're using. So now going to the third. The third is probably the most widespread one that you can use for a business, as a business, and as a person. So if you aren't familiar with or haven't had that chance to access this at all, there's another app called PayPal. PayPal, that app itself is geared towards businesses, but it also gives you a period of wait, the same way Cash App does, but it also gives you the option to fast track your cash and get it now so that you can have your cash on demand. But PayPal has been around longer than Cash App and has a lot more conveniences with bigger businesses. So you can get paid through PayPal and have a track receipt from PayPal to you so that you'll have your 1099 if you were an independent contractor and or W-2 if you were working that way. But either way, it shows a track listing of paychecks that comes to your PayPal account. And PayPal is also used to make transactions on sales and buys. So you can use the same money that goes into PayPal to pay for something else. And I think the first time I remember seeing PayPal was probably around the era when eBay was really, really popular. So you were able to just get things off of eBay and resell them and buy them again and resell them and buy them again. So that was the PayPal method then. And it was usually used to be a security buffer between you, your debit card, and the other person that was using their information to pay you with, to just allude to not having any fraud activities. So it's always been around like AOL, but I mean, you still should use it and have it because it is very resourceful for those who do and don't have it. So just keep in mind for that. We've gone over Square Cash, which is Apple Pay, depending on where you're going. Cash App, another app, which is transactional. So you can either do it on demand. It also even comes with a barcode scan to it too. And you also have PayPal. PayPal was the third one that we've already went down the list, which is older in relevancy, but great within the genre of stuff that we're doing right now. So if we're talking about accepting all forms of payment to quit your 9 to 5, this is probably one of the biggest things you want to make sure you have set up before you go anywhere. You don't want to be in anyone's house or any place that you're going and end up having to say, I don't have that form of payment, because now you've done X amount of work for free. And you don't want to be in a situation where you've done that. So I try to talk about just having the resources of payment so that you don't always have to accept cash. You don't want to be the person with $10,000 walking on you and the bank is closed on Saturday. You don't want to have all these issues going on. And there's an easier way to navigate through this if you chose to do this way. And one of which is just having all forms of payment. Square Cash, Cash App, PayPal. And we're going to move on to the next one. The next one being the one that banks use the most, but probably quickly accessible to people that use the same bank, which is Zelle. Zelle is another function that allows you to change over cash from your bank to another bank. So you can go from Wells Fargo to Bank of America, Trust to SunTrust, USAA to Navy Federal, whatever it is. If they have a Zelle transaction, they're able to give you that same transaction. So with Zelle, you don't have to spread a fee out. You don't have to do a wait time. It goes instantaneously, from that person's bank to the other person's bank on the spot. You don't have to wait on it. You don't have to double think if anything ended up happening with the money. It went to that person and you're just waiting for it to get there so that they can see it. Okay. So with Zelle, just having a Zelle account is meaningful in a lot of ways. So if that person does not have Square Cash, which I highly don't think the likelihood of that is going to be a thing, Square Cash also works with Samsung Pay. So if one of those two aren't available, you also have the other option. Cash App, PayPal, Zelle is going to be the bank-to-bank transfer. It makes it a lot easier for you and that person to change over their cash flow so that you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to have it. But once again, it's instant. It's not like the Cash App and it's not like the PayPal. And it's very secure when it comes to it because, once again, it's going from bank to bank. So when you're going to said client, they don't have Cash App, they don't have PayPal, they may have a Zelle. They can Zelle you the cash from their bank to your bank, and you don't have to wait 2 to 3 days. You don't have to wait less than 2 minutes to see what you would have worked and how you would have gotten paid within the same day. So just having the idea of Zelle at all times available may change the course of how your day is going to go when it comes to payment, either before or at the end of the day. So we've gone over 4 of them. I'm going to recap over them one more time. Square Cash, Cash App, PayPal, and now Zelle. So each and every one of these applications that you can have, use, change over, just make sure that you're going to use them when you're with the person that you're trying to make these sales to. And I say that because you have to follow the model of the business. There are a lot of people that do not understand why businesses ended up dying the way that they do. And if they don't accept certain forms of payment, then the customer can't pay them. And if it's easier to find it on Amazon, that's exactly what someone's going to do. So to alleviate all of those options, to make it so that you can get paid on demand doing what you like doing, when you like doing it, and how you like doing it, make sure that you have all forms of payment available at all times. Okay? Square Cash, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, and now we're going to move on to the fifth one, Venmo. Venmo is also another form of payment that you can use to get cash, to change over cash, to have people send you cash, the same way Cash App and PayPal have also been used. Now, I don't know if it's regional. I don't know if it's geographical. I don't know if it depends on who has what app and what app they like the most. But I say these forms of payment because I've been stuck in situations where people do not have a PayPal. They do not have a Cash App. They may have a Zelle, but their Zelle is tied with a trading account. So they're not trying to send you money from that. And so they may have to just say, do you accept Venmo? Venmo will be a fifth option for you to say that you have all your payment listings in one area. So now if you're able to accept 5 different forms of payment, 6 including cash, the only thing that person is not able to do is tell you no. That's the only thing they cannot do. They can't tell you I don't have a way to make you richer because of what you did. So now that you've alleviated one problem from starting a whole slew of problems and having to figure out later, these things will save you a lifetime, if not a burden that you won't have to face going forward. I understand that they're very small. They're a little bit tedious to deal with and play with and have to have at all times. But please do understand that there's a population of people that does not configure with everything with cash. And it's growing. It's not getting smaller. It's growing. So the faster that you adapt, the same way that the businesses like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, etc., how all of these guys adapted. Walmart even has their own pay. So everyone has adapted to the same rule. And I want to make sure that you yourself are understanding the adaptation that's going on. So if you aren't prepared to accept any and all forms of payment as soon as you get started with doing whatever business that you're doing, then you're probably going to have a lot of issues going just with that. It's not as simple as a download and get your stuff started, but you can make it that way if you're at least prepared. You don't have to sit there and wait and hopefully, you have enough internet to download Cash App to put your card up there or download Venmo to put in your information up there. That's not the time that you want to start trying to figure all that stuff out. You can do that well in advance just by having it ready. And who's this? Why would you not want to have it ready? Let's think about it. Like, you're the person that is doing the service. Do you not want to get paid for doing what you're doing, whatever it may be? So if you care about that part of the conversation, then you care about getting to the point where you have all forms of payment at all costs. So I'm going to recap over them another time right now just to give you a whole idea spill on what we just went over. And if I missed one, please let me know in the comments. We can talk about them. There could be more other options that I don't even know about. I'm just saying these because these are the ones that I've been listed with, have seen, have been given, and also have had to deal with long term. So if anybody doesn't have any of these, I want to say 5, but it's technically 6 because we all accept cash. And if you say no to cash, I mean, I can't say anything but give me the loot. So, yeah, I'm going to recap over this one more time just to let you guys know this is a tip and trick that you can use to quit your 9-to-5 job. Having all forms of payment. Square Cash, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, and cash. So as long as you're within the standards of saying that I'm going to do these 6 things to make sure that I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to get the money that I'm going for, we can do it. The moment that you don't, that'll be the moment that everything becomes an issue. You have to learn on the spot. And these are things I had to learn on the spot that I'm trying to tell you so that you don't have to go down the same road. It kind of sucks being the one person that did not have a different form of payment than your customer or your client, whoever it may be. Or it kind of sucks when you are the one person in your family that does not have access to send everybody else cash and has to go all the way to the bank, withdraw it with a check, and then come back just to give that person the cash that they needed that it took so long to do. So just keep it in mind. Like, all of these things are for convenience purposes only. So you want to make sure that you're prepared, but at the same time, it's for your own convenience, because to be unprepared just means that the entire process of what you're going to be doing is going to be lengthy and long. If not, it's going to be treacherous and terrible if you continue to not do the things that you need to do. So one thing that you can do to set yourself above everybody else, because I promise you it's going to be something you either do now or later, your choice on the later part, but just setting up all forms of payment, making sure that you have all the things that you need when it's time to do whatever you're doing. And that right there will be the winning ticket to just aiding your business or whatever it is that you're trying to start. It could be a lemonade stand. Make sure you have all forms of payment, all right? This is your boy PKG Deluxe. This is your tips and tricks on how to quit your 9 to 5. That was just lesson 1, and we're going to come back to it later, all right? PKG Deluxe is here. PKG Deluxe is out, baby.